I wanted to do a review on this AGS brass case annealer, my initial thoughts on it, and who I think would benefit from having this and why I bought it. I think this is a good fit for some people, but not for everyone. And I'll give reasons why I bought it and why I think it may be a good fit for your type of reloading that you're looking to do. Now, I first started looking into reloading. There's all kinds of options as far as annealing brass, all kinds of different machines, all the way down to just using a propane bottle with a torch on the end and doing it that way. And that's how I was originally going to do it. But what I found that was very difficult is doing that with a drill. You get very uneven heating. You can't get the drill to spin slow enough, at least on the ones that I had, and I got sick of trying to find one that would actually spin that slow to evenly heat the case to the temperature that you wanted it. So I said, screw it. I broke down and decided to buy an annealer. There's a few that I was looking at. I was looking at the burst fire. That was the one I was originally going to get, but I ended up buying this one. And there's a reason why I got this over the other ones. And there is some potentially bad points to this too. And I'll cover that in just a few minutes as well. One of the main reasons that I got this was because of its compact size. It's very small. It takes up very little footprint no matter where you want to put it in your work area for, annealing brass. And the burst fire seemed like it was a much bigger unit. Even though I don't anneal the brass directly on the bench, I have another spot where I do it. I just didn't want to have to take up that amount of real estate. So this was very appealing with its footprint that it has. Now, a lot of the good features with this, it does come with 3 different adapters here for the size of the brass that you're annealing, and it will fit pretty much everything from 223 up to the larger rifle calibers. And I'm loading right now for 6.5 Creedmoor, and this, I'm not sure which number. I don't think these are numbered. It's just whatever one fits it well. So that's pretty much why I bought it, was because of the footprint, and it was priced a little bit cheaper than the burst fire, but it wasn't the main reason why I got it. Was just because of the price. Like I said, it was the size. It was a big thing. And one thing I want to point out with this is, I've set this up a few different ways. This is a little adapter that holds your torch. And originally I was using an automatic fire one of these. And it fits in, but it stops. You can see right where it stops here. Right where the brass section stops and it transitions to this silver color. It doesn't go further than that. So I couldn't get the torch as close as I wanted to the brass. So that was a bit of a problem, but I liked it because it was automatic lighting. And the other thing too is this is a little bit too heavy to be supported on this. There's just one single set screw here that you tighten down, and that's what holds the torch into place when it's on. I'll do a quick little demonstration. So if you put this on, you're only getting that amount of reach to the brass because of, trying to do this so you guys can actually see what I'm talking about. It doesn't go very far down the nozzle here because it stops at where that brass section ends. So I ended up switching to just a regular nozzle like this, which will go all the way through and get much closer to the brass, which is probably ideally where you really want it. And it's not as much weight. Just having this on here attached to the hose into the bottle is not a lot of weight, where this doesn't seem like it's that much more, but it was putting a lot of weight on that adapter, and I just didn't want anything to get stripped from having to tighten it up too much. So I decided to ditch this idea and go back to just this. One other thing that I want to point out is this little piece right here. This spins and it catches on these little tabs that are sticking up between the cases. When I first set this up, it was clearing really well, but you have to keep an eye on it because over time, I think this slid down a little bit. And it was actually hitting this plate and riding up. You could hear it. It would go click and ride up, and then it would strike that little tab to turn to the next section. and it's not ideal. So you want to keep an eye on this and make sure that it doesn't slide down. Make sure that this is always tight, so when it spins around and hits this, that it's clearing the plate and not contacting it, because it would, I don't know what it would do long term. I don't know how strong that motor is in here, if it would burn it out over time or not, but that's just my, personal opinion on that. Now, as far as how this performs, I've probably run 150 to 200 cases of brass through it. This is my Lapua for my 6.5 Creedmoor precision rifle. And this is the last ones that I did with it. And I did a bunch of trial brass before that, just kind of getting it set up and seeing where I wanted the flame, how close I wanted it. And, it takes a little while to get, really where you want it. And through the course of doing the brass that I've done with it, I like this quite a bit. It's very, very user-friendly. You have all the adjustments here for the amount of time that you want the plate to spin, how long the brass is in the flame. And, it's pretty easy readout on it. Very easy to make adjustments on it. The only other negative thing that I'll say about this is that the manufacturer of this is in Serbia. So it's not like it's an easy return if something goes wrong with it. But from what I've seen, they seem to be pretty reliable. I haven't seen too many reviews where people have had issues with it. And you can get replacement parts, as far as I know, if you needed it. But it's not as easy as sending something back to Amazon, because he is in Serbia. So it's a little bit more of a hassle for that, to, dealing with that aspect of it. But I think overall it's a really, really good unit. I haven't used it a ton, like I said, but for what I have used it for, it's been really, really good. And I look forward to using it more. And, I'm probably not going to anneal a ton of brass every year. Maybe 200, 300, 400 rounds at the most. Is just for my precision rifle until I get into reloading more calibers and stuff like that. But I may not even anneal that if it's just regular range brass and stuff like that. I probably won't bother to anneal any of it. But I think, overall, I give this, really good remarks. I think it's a really good little unit, small footprint. The only other thing to consider with this too is you have to hand feed each piece. As this plate spins, you have to put a new piece of brass on. So if you are trying to anneal in larger volumes, you're going to be sitting here a while just putting the next case on, the next case on. So that's why I think this is geared more towards and better for people that aren't looking to anneal large lots of brass, or you're not looking at saving as much time as possible. If you're okay with sitting here for a while, plunking in each piece of brass as it needs to be refilled, it's fine for that. But if you're annealing in large mass volumes, you want something that has a big feeder on it, like the burst fire does. You can load a ton of brass on that and just leave it, and it will anneal it, drop it into a pan, and that's it. The other thing too is this doesn't have anything underneath it to drop the brass into after it's been annealed. So you have to put something underneath it to catch the brass, whether that's just a regular small pan or wet towel or anything like that, just to keep the hot brass from hitting any surface that you don't want it to. So I think that pretty much covers it. It's a really cool little unit for what I'm doing for reloading, which is not large amounts. It works great for me, small footprint. I don't mind that it's a little bit slower and you have to hand feed each piece in there to keep it going. For my type of reloader, it works out great. And overall, I think it would suit a lot of people with the same type of reloading goals that I have. It would suit them quite well. So that's it. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to leave it a like. I have more reviews on some more of the products that I bought recently. As you can see, I have the Hornady iron press here. I have Frankfurt Arsenal digital scale and dispenser, which I have not used yet. I haven't used any of this reloading equipment as far as producing any new rounds as of yet, because still waiting for a few things to come in. I did pick up just not too long ago. This came in. The other half of it's sitting on top of the Hornady iron press. Whitting Gunworks micrometer bullet seeder, and the full length resize and die is up here. So I'll do a review on those as too once I start using them, but I'm waiting for a neck bushing die to come in for the full length resizer, and then I can actually start reloading, but maybe a little bit further on. I'll also review a few more things that are on my gun that I built. I do have the Vortex Gen 2 scope on there, the Razor Gen 2, and I'll give my overall thoughts on that, whether I thought it was worth the money for the money that it costs and quality that you get out of it. That's pretty much it. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to leave it a like. A lot more gun stuff coming up down the road as I start getting into reloading, and I'll be doing load development later on this spring and see how all of that goes. Thanks if you did make it this far in the video. If you did, make sure to leave it a like, but above all else, thanks for watching.